setup?
Me.
Yeah.
I don't have a light system set up. It maybe.
Oh, so there's okay. Just I was thinking the same thing. Like, do I need to get like? I've got my little self-tip lights that I use. I leave it on, take it off. I thought we'd keep this very informal. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. This is what we're doing. We're informal, and actually, we are live now. So I'm gonna open
We're
up my
live.
phone. I'm gonna open up my phone just in case someone comments on the group while if they're
Open
not
up the phone so I can also comment to the people in the group.
Yes. Okay, so here we are. We are live. Welcome, everyone. I'm Chantal, and this is Llewellyn. Llewellyn is not just a pretty face. I have known Llewellyn since I was just a tiny tot. I wish I could find the photo, but there is a photo somewhere in Buddhism.
You have evidence. You have evidence
of us pretending to get married with Llewellyn in his little cowboy hat and me in my dress. And
oh my goodness.
I was even so clever as to shove a balloon up the dress because we was married, so we're gonna have a baby now. I can't wait to find that photo next time I go home.
You're kidding me.
So funny. I laughed so hard and I meant to like bring it back with me to the States, but I didn't. But I thought this will be so lekker, like when Llewellyn is finally
I want to see
as famous as he is going to be. I'm going to be like, look, I once married this man.
It's testament that I was supposed to be born American. I was even named my cowboy hat.
So Llewellyn has seen a lot of success in many different areas of his life, but I invited him on here to talk about becoming Superman, which is a video that I watched on his timeline maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and my friend Max and I were just crying in the office about how amazing this man is. We were just so moved by this video, and I was like, I know this guy, I know him. How cool is that I know someone this awesome? But things have been really rough for a lot of people the last few years, and I see, especially in this wellness community, it's almost like we use the fact that we really know what's going on in the universe as kind of an excuse to call out, to not show up in the best way possible and be like, oh, there's an eclipse, or there's a this, or there's
a retrograde.
There's a retrograde. There's I just feel like I shouldn't be doing this, and and that's cool. But there's also an element of needing to be resilient when it comes to your goals and not giving up and working hard. And that was something I saw in that video. And that's something I've been talking about at my events for the last 2 months. Like, come on, guys, let's do it. Let's push through. You can't just sit and go to sleep on your goals. And so I really wanted to have you on here to talk about how resilient you've been, everything you've overcome, and like what made you push through in the way that I've seen you push through.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And thank you for this platform and everybody that we are going to be speaking to or are speaking to. Thank you for watching or not watching. Don't actually know just yet. Look, I don't know if I find myself to be resilient. I just don't have a part of me that wants to give up on what I believe I can achieve. And I think that a lot of people give up on what their beliefs are. They give up on what they were striving for because things get so hard. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you that, every day I'm always positive and I'm going to get up and I'm like, let's go, let's do this. Whatever challenges you got, just bring it because I'm going to crush it. It's like, it's not like that every day.
No.
It's not like that every day at all. And I, for one, know how difficult it is, how the trials and tribulations that are in your way, every single person, their trials and tribulations are different for them in every single way, but it's the same in a whole. It's the same for all people. Like, just because you're going through something hard, you're not the only one. Trust me, you're not the only one by a long shot. I just found it's part of my upbringing. I was always, it came from a place of being told that you're not good enough. I know that's not a positive message, but for me, there was a switch. It's like, but I am. And as I've got older, I know why I'm good enough. I'll bring my faith into it, because the man upstairs doesn't make mistakes. He didn't make mistakes. He doesn't do that. He brings everybody here for a reason, for a purpose. So if you would like, I can get into how the whole Superman thing came about.
Yeah.
If you would like that.
Just wrap this.
Okay. So basically, everybody has always asked me, like, where did the Superman name come from? So the thing is very, very simple. The short part of it, very, very simple, is I grew up loving Superman. I grew up, I had the dark hair. I had the suit when I was growing up. I used to wear the suit going to all the Superman movies. People used to laugh at me. I didn't care, because I was Superman. But as you grow up, you start to let go of those things a little bit. And, you start to find different things to focus on, different things to move towards. But it's always there. It's always there in the back of your mind, because it was something that you were drawn to from a very young age, when you're the most innocent, the most pure. So through my travels and my journeys, I then entered into the fitness world, and exclusively the fitness competitive world. So I was competing in what you want to call bodybuilding shows, but I was in a section called athletic fitness, athletic physique.
What about Mr. South Africa, though?
Yeah, that was before I got there. Oh, yeah, look, that was there before. I won a whole lot of pageants. I was a Mr. Clifton. I was a Mr. Beach Boy SA. I was all of these things.
Yes, you started.
And then, but that stuff wasn't really making me money. So going into the personal training life and world, always wanting to be an actor. I just want to say that, always wanting to be an actor. But, the amount of work I was getting, you can't support a family. You can't support anybody. So I went into the personal training sphere, which was quite lucrative for me. And then, I couldn't stay away from performing. Could not do it. So I went into competing. So the competing that I went into was the aerobic fitness section. Now, aerobic fitness, if I break it down for you in layman's terms, you built like a physique athlete, but you also do a 2 to 3 minute routine using acrobatics, balance, strength, and dance moves. Yes, this old guy could move.
I didn't even know about that part.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I got into all the trouble I'm going to be talking about. So I focused my whole life into that area. The competitive, the competing. Now, if there is anybody here listening, or if there is anybody on here knowing an athlete, you'll understand that the life of an athlete and the preparation for an athlete is very, very taxing on your body. Very. You deprive yourself of carbohydrates at a certain time. I mean, things have changed. When I was doing it, I never really deprived myself of carbohydrates until a certain point. But the thing is, can you see me still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The thing is, you were basically in that life of training all the time in between your work. So for me, what happened is, my sleep became a minimalistic thing. It wasn't something that I was getting a lot of, but it didn't matter, because I was going to do this competition and I was going to win. And just to give you an idea, I to date have done 23 competitions, and I've come second once.
And every other
all the other times are wins.
Yo.
I don't, and that was the way I was brought up. Like, you do things, you do it well, you do it right, and I was going to win, and I found something I could excel at. The problem with that is that I put myself through extreme conditions. I'll give you an example of what a day was like. I would wake up 3 a.m., get to the gym 4 a.m. for an hour. I would do my cardio. I would then get off 5 o'clock straight into clients the whole day. I would then get a gap between 12 and 1. I would train for an hour, then carry on with clients up until about 10 o'clock at night, because our gym closed at 10. Then I would take like a little bit of break, just take into consideration every 2 hours I'm eating. Okay. Then like around about 10 o'clock, I would finish. About 10:30, 11 o'clock, I would then do my second hour of cardio. Then I would go home because I had keys to the gym. They would let me stay in late so I could lock up. So then I would finish my second hour of cardio. Then I would go home. I was getting to bed, if I'm being honest and not over exaggerating, probably about 1 or 2, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Then waking up again, 3 a.m., ready to go. And there wasn't anything. I mean, if I watched some of my posts back in the day when I was doing that, it's like, here I am, 4 a.m., like, let's go. And I was, but little did I know what damage I was doing to my body, which I was going to find out a little bit later. And I'll get straight to when a little bit later was. So I'd won 2 world titles. And I was going for my 3rd one. On my way to my 3rd title, the preparation, there was a day where I passed out. I didn't feel sick. There was nothing that I didn't eat because I don't have a sense of smell. So I used to get food poisoning quite a lot. You know, eating fish that's not ripe is not a good idea. So I passed out. Now, I'm also not a guy that goes to the hospital or a doctor. I just don't do it because, you know, I lie in bed, I'll get better. End of story.
Yeah.
I went to the doctor because passing out, like, you know, that being said, it's pretty lucky I passed out in the bathroom. I mean, I could have hit my head on a basin or anything and caused serious damage. I fortunately didn't. Passed out when I came to. I don't know. I was on my own, so I don't know how long I was passed out for because I didn't check the time when I passed out. But I went to the hospital. They took bloods, and then I went home. That was over the weekend, and on the Monday, I got a call from the doctor, and it was like, Mr. Cordier, like, yes, that's me. Sounds like you're talking to my dad, but yes, that's me. You need to come and see us. I'm like, man, why do I need to come see you? I saw you. You took bloods. It's like, everything's fine. I'm feeling fine. I'm good. He said, no, you need to come see us. You can tell me over the phone. What's wrong? Why do I have to come sit there? I'm busy working. I don't have time to come see anybody. It's like, all right, listen, you need to come and see us. There's a problem with your bloods. There's a problem with the tests. It's like, what, didn't you do it right? And he literally had to give the news to me over the phone that they found that I had cancer. I literally thought this is a sick joke, because how could I, Mr. Fitness World Champion twice, get cancer? I went to go and see them. They showed me the bloods, and they said it's leukemia. They said, you're welcome to go for a second opinion, and I did, and the results came back exactly the same. You know, just talking about how difficult it is to get up and want to fight when you're faced with adversity and faced with challenges. For the first time in my life, I got that news, and I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I was too scared to tell my parents because I know they wouldn't handle it. This is their son that's like in the gym all the time, and he's always a pinnacle of health all the time. He's won these things, and you know, so I didn't tell them. But what I did do is I ran away from the world for about a week and a half. I literally got in my car and I drove here in Johannesburg. There's a place called Hartbeespoort Dam. It's just an area where there's water. I drove there. I stayed in a place for about a week. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. So I figured in my head after all that time around, I got to go back. I got to face some music. I got to go and see what happens now. You know, I went back and told my parents. I remember my mom's response. It was like, how could you do this to me? I'm like, okay. Like, I wish I didn't, but this is happening to me. I literally lost, and coming to think of it, it brings back all those thoughts. I lost my will to live. To be very honest, I lost my will to live, and I was angry. I was angry because I would watch people and there was people that would smoke like 20 cigarettes a day. And I was like, how are you fine and I'm not? How? Tell me. I'm in the gym. How many times have you gym in your life? Never mind. You just sit on there. I was angry. Like I would get into an argument with someone because they're smoking and they're fine and they're not sick, but I am. So there was the whole anger part of it. Then I had to go to the doctors because now how are we going to do this? How am I going to get better? I need to get better because I decided I have to get better. Although I wasn't very strong in wanting to do that. So the very first option they gave me was the organic treatment. I did it. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't nice, but it went away. I needed to say something about when they caught the leukemia. They said to me that as early as you could ever humanly possibly catch it is how we caught it with you. You know, like one day earlier, we would have picked up nothing. Like that's how it was that early that like it was almost not being able, you wouldn't normally be able to pick it up at this very, very beginning. That's when we picked it up. So that's when I went into organic treatment. It went away. It went away and I was like, right, I'm back. But it didn't last for long. It lasted like about 2-3 months and it was back. When it came back, the way I felt the first time I heard the news, this was worse. Because I'd just gone through it. Like I'd just gone through a heavyweight fight with Mike Tyson. And, you know, how am I going to do this again? Like I don't have it in me. Like I just, so they said, look, it's chemotherapy. That's what we have to do. You know, I didn't want to do it, but I thought if there's going to be a chance, this is what I'm going to do. So I started chemo and my body just went into decline. I was losing weight. I was feeling horrible. I was throwing up all the time. I couldn't do anything. I was stuck in my bed. And at one point I just want to stay there. I was done until a friend of mine, and this thing where I'm living right now is when it all happened. And I remember this friend coming to sit on my bed and I won't use the actual words that she used. Just said that, like, are you a quitter? I'll use that. Are you a quitter? Are you really going to sit there and quit in front of everybody after all these years of posting, you know, whatever challenge you have, just bring it, you know, stand up to whatever it is, whatever hurdles, you know, you got to be strong, you got to push, you got to move. Are you just going to let that all go and everything you've been saying is a lie? And I was like, not a chance.
A dagger to the heart.
Not a swear word chance. Is that going to happen? Yeah. Although I guess mine is like, not a chance. I stood up and I needed to go for an appointment with the doctors because I had to. I mean, it's part of the course. You have to go and see them all the time. And they called me and they said, when it's not looking good. And this is after I've stood up, right? This is after I've stood up and I've come to them.
All your energy there to stand up.
Yeah, because literally that's what it took. That's literally what it took. So I get them and they say, it's not looking good. Your body's rejecting this like it's a plague. It's rejecting this. It's not working. You're declining. But if we take you off the chemo, it's going to happen faster. So we have to keep you on, but it's not looking good. I mean, you get that news straight up. They didn't sugarcoat it. All kudos to them. They didn't sugarcoat it. It wasn't like giving me hope when there was none. They told me exactly how it was. So when I went home, I realized at that point in time that a decision needed to be made. A decision needed to be made to where I was going to go and what I was going to do. Because at that point, when my friend said to me, "Are you a real quitter?" And it's like, I wasn't. And I was driving on my way, and it's like, actually, I'm not a quitter, but I need to find out how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I went and I watched Superman Returns. It's the one where Brandon Routh played the part of Superman. I sat there on this couch that I'm sitting on right now, this one right here. I sat here and I watched this movie from start to finish. And Superman, the movie hit me a little bit differently. Everything hit me a little bit differently. The message of what Superman is, it's not just about being a superhero. That emblem on the chest, the S is not an S, it's a symbol for hope on Krypton, and it was a symbol of hope. And that is what I felt after that movie. And I felt that afterwards, after that, I'm watching this, it's like, you know what, there's no way. There's no way I'm giving up. I will fight until my very last breath, but I will not sit here and lie down and take this. So what I did was, in South Africa, we got a place called Mr. Price. It's like Target. It's like a Target, I think.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, the prices are not expensive. The clothes are not too bad. And I went and I bought myself these hoodies, red hoodies, because our work outfit when I worked for Planet Fitness was a blue shirt, like a royal blue shirt. So I went and bought these red hoodies, and I cut the sleeves off of all of them. And I used to wear them underneath my blue shirt. And then when you put it on, so you take the hoodie out and you put it out the back of your shirt, it looks like you've got this mini cape. And from that day on, also what I did is I wore blue and red. Everything was blue and red. I didn't wear the colors of the gym. I said, listen, I can buy the same brand tracksuit, which is blue, right? Cool. And I started feeling better. I started feeling stronger, but it wasn't easy. I just felt like I could get through it better. I felt like I could do it more. And I just, from day to day, it just got better. My next check-in with the doctors, they were like, what did you do? They thought I went to China and went like for some Eastern medicine. It's like, what did you do? I said, I've just felt like this is not going to take me down. This was sent for a reason. It was put in my path for a reason. And whatever the reason is, which I know now and I'll get to, but this is happening for a reason. And I'm taking the warning, whatever it is, and I'm moving forward with my faith and with my belief, because that is what that Superman movie did for me. Gave me something to live up to. And I feel like that was the man upstairs way of showing me that I still got a lot of stuff to do down here. I went through it. But the thing is, when you're in a situation like that, you don't see the signs. Yeah. You don't see that he was doing me a favor by doing this, putting this in my life, because the path that I was on, I was going to do that to myself without the cancer. Yeah. I was going to do that to myself before the age of 40 or even 45. The way I was treating my body, what I was doing to myself, I was going to be there. He put that, like, pause, pump the brakes, listen up. You need to watch what you're doing. Like, you make some decisions, or like it's not going to work out for you. So that all happened, and I started getting better. I started getting stronger. I remember one time even my mom and dad wanted to come visit me. I mean, I'd lost a lot of weight, but I was doing good. But I was like in a zone. If I say that I had a routine, like I would do certain things in the day, and nothing deteriorated from that routine. Like a certain time I do this, certain time I'd be at the gym, and I said to my parents, please, no, you can't come. I mean, they were quite offended. I said, no, it's not because I don't want to see you. It's because I don't want you to see me like this. And I also need this time with myself to get through what I need to get through. When I'm on the other side, you can visit whenever you want. But right now, anything that gets in that way or adds an extra stumbling block is going to hinder my progress. And I kept on going. And then I went for the one checkup, and I finally got the cancer into remission.
I'm going to cry. Woo!
No, please don't.
Oh, yes.
Look, Chantal, I'll say this. It was the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my life. But I feel in that very same breath, it was the biggest miracle that I've ever been presented with. Yeah. Because if I had kept on going the way I was, I wouldn't be here right now. If I didn't have cancer to put my life back on track, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be sitting here. We wouldn't be talking about this. So how the Superman came in from all of this is I promised myself when I came out, I was going to get myself a Superman tattoo. For me. It wasn't for anybody else. It was for me. I forget that I have it sometimes. It's on my lower back. And then I also, I labeled myself Superman. I label myself. No one else called me Superman. I went onto my Instagram page, onto my Facebook page, and I labeled it Superman. No one else did it for me. The thing that I didn't expect is that it would catch on so well. I didn't expect that, because then everybody did start calling me Superman. I was like, it's Superman, right? It's like, yes. And your name? It's Superman. So and it took on, and I'm glad that it took on, because that word for me is not about being a superhero. It's about being a beacon of hope in a moment for people when they feel like they can't anymore. You can't take that one step, you can't take that one move, you can't get out of bed, you feel like you can't you can't go for that job, or you can't do this. It's like a beacon of hope. If I can do that, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. It's just your mind. It's your mind. It's the strongest thing we have, the most powerful weapon we have, and none of us use it. I mean, I was at a time when I felt myself. I mean, I didn't even lose my hair when I went through chemo. I don't ask me why I didn't lose my hair. People said, I mean, I was like a rake. I didn't lose my hair. So, and then that's where the Superman thing came in. And it was like, you know, be a Superman. Be a Superman to your friends, to your family, to your wife, to your kids, to everybody around you. Be a Superman. It's not about being a hero. It's about being real and stepping up when you need to. And that, in a nutshell, was the story of the Superman.
Yeah.
You made me cry. Stop.
I mean, yes, it's, you know, I mean, I see this every day, you know, with hypnotherapy, how people's minds are really the only thing that slows them down from what they want. But when you're looking at something like, you know, having a better relationship or making more money, or, you know, something that's a thing that they want, it's less evident, I think, for them how powerful their mind really is. But when they hear a story of an actual disease that you cured with the power of your mind, it's, you know, it's evidence that we all, you know, but that we all have that in us, that ability to be able to look at a situation and change it with the power of our thought.
Like you 100% right. I mean, the power of positive thinking is limitless and boundless.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very simple example. It's been pointed out to me so many times. It's like, a plant's not going to grow if you don't water it every day. You put water on it. You put water on it, it then gets the nourishment. That's what you are like. You need to water yourself with positive affirmations. And Bruce Lee said amazing things, like, you know, your body doesn't know. Your body doesn't know that you're joking. So if you say, I'm fat or I'm unhealthy, I'm like, your body doesn't know that you're joking. It's going to take that on. It's an energy. It's going to take it on. You need to positively affirm yourself in every single situation that you're in. You're not going to get your results every time, but you're going to get closer to it. You're going to get closer to that point. And those things that you aren't getting, is because it wasn't for you. It wasn't the right time. It's coming. I'm testament to that. Like, it was a time I was going to give up on acting, and I was like, no, I just, you know, I can't anymore. It's like, and then I went through all of this. I was like, actually, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop, because, you know, the cancer came to me because that was the time for me to have that, to get me out of the thing that I was doing. Yeah. So if I don't get a part that I really think that I was good for, it's because it wasn't for me. It wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right thing. It wasn't the right production company. And many times, 9 out of 10 times, I've realized, like, when you're in it, you don't see the reason. It's like, there's always a reason. You don't see the reason. But a couple of months down the line, you go, I understand why now. Because this happened, and I wouldn't be able to do this if I'd been there. So right. It's just, you know, we just need to find our way. Find our way to be positive in every situation that you're in. There's a positive something. There's a positive something about everything. And how can you say that?
Everywhere.
Well, I know I was with my wife, and we went somewhere, and then something had been taken off my card. Like, you know, when they you guys probably don't have it. We're South Africa. So you put the card in, and they make a copy of your card, and then they go and spend. So from where we were, I think we bought slops and something, and then I went to the Checkers, and in that time, like 1,000 rand was out of my account. And my wife was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel bad because if I didn't say come with me, it wouldn't have happened." I said, "It's fine. It's only money." The positive thing is now you know never to go there because we used to go there a lot. And the money came back. I got the money in another way. I said, it's just money. But the positive thing out of that, it was we knew not to go there again. And subsequently, a month later, the place closed down for fraud and stuff. So, but we knew not to go there again. So you got to take some positivity. It's like, how's that positive? Well, you wouldn't have known if it kept on happening in small amounts. You would never have known.
Yeah.
So there's positive scope and view to every negative thing or supposedly negative thing that happens to you.
And I've been listening to Napoleon Hill's The Strangest Secret with a bunch of people. I don't know if you've listened to that before.
Heard the name.
Yeah, I'll send the link later.
Please do.
But what he talks about a lot is, you know, to find your goal, and then all you're focusing on is your goal. Because a lot of the times we'll like focus on how we're going to get to our goal, or what's coming up that's derailing us from the goal, or all of the drama in between here and getting the goal. And he's like, no, you focus on your goal, and you focus on that goal with such intensity that every single thought and action eventually aligns with that goal. And then it's impossible for you to not have that goal, right? Which is what you did with your health when you were sick. And because all you were saying is, you know, I'm going to get better. It's just what it is. It
was a hurdle.
Better. Yeah. You're not even.
It didn't pay rent. It needed to leave.
Yeah. Like, this is where I'm going. And I think like if people would just, when you're only thinking about that outcome and what life's going to be like after you've achieved that thing, it basically becomes impossible for you to think in the way that you used to think, because the way that you used to think, you know, doesn't align with that goal, right? You know that like sitting and wallowing in your bed is not going to get you to that goal. So you get up, right? And I feel like so much as I've been learning about this work, people will say, oh, but you know, this doesn't work. It never works out for me. And I'm always someone that gets screwed over, and I'm always someone that gets overlooked. And
they're feeding into what they want to happen then.
Right. Because
the universe supports action and not thought. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not thinking.
If that's what you're focusing, if you're focusing that you're going to fail, you'll fail 100%.
Absolutely. Because I mean, you could have very easily focused on how shitty you felt at that time, how you didn't want to get up out of bed.
For a long time, I did, though, Chantel. For a long time, I did.
Yeah. Well, it's hard in the moment, right?
It is hard in the moment, but that's why, you know, step out of the moment for 1 second. Look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I found on my journey that I was so focused on is the adventure that was in it en route. And when I say adventure, the people that I met along the way that were aligned with me, like they were there for me, like people that you never thought would be there for you were, and the people that you thought would be there for you, like,
isn't it always like that though? Like, where were you? I needed
where were you really? Yeah. Like when it came down to it, I'll have your back. I got your back. I've said this many times. Like those aren't the guys that show up. It's the ones that don't say anything. They just say, just give me a call. Like when you need to, just give me a call. Those are the ones silently being there for whatever and showing up like an army when you need it the most.
Yeah, and I think that's when you line up with your goal, when you really line up with your goal, then the right people show up. And I think a lot of people get attached to this.
Everything, like you just mentioned the word alignment. Everything aligns.
Yeah.
Then you know you're moving in your power as well.
Right. You think like people get so attached to like, oh, but I expected John to be there and John wasn't there. Yeah, but who was there, right? Who was there?
Exactly. Don't focus on what didn't happen. Focus on what did.
Yeah.
And so also, that's the other thing is, what is my what?
Number one piece of advice for people.
It's know your worth.
Yes. Amen.
End of story. End of story. Know your worth. Know your worth. I said it before. Man upstairs didn't make mistakes. Yeah. Know your worth. Yeah. And if you know what you want, you can go out and get what you want. End of story. Don't look for excuses. Don't look for people to blame.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to get hard. Take it. Take it. It can't be easy. Nothing worth having is. Take the knocks. Take the knocks. Keep moving and go for what you want because you deserve it. and you know you deserve because that's what you thought. So that's my biggest, it's not a big thing. It's just know your worth.
That's huge.
Don't let anybody tell you, but don't let anybody tell you different. Know your worth. And it's not arrogance. It's not arrogance. To know your self-worth is not arrogant. Yeah. It's truth.
Yeah. I'm starting a new coaching position with the company in January. And in the interview, they said to me, well, what is it about a human that makes them worthy of change? That was one of the coaching questions. Or what is it about a human that makes them worthy of this transformation? And I was like, is that a trick question? like, is that a trick question? Because I don't get it. Because like to me, you're worth it just because you're here. You're inherently worth it because you're here. I think that poem from Khalil Gibran where he says, you know, your children are, what is it? The universe longing for itself. So by definition, when you think
that's
about
beautiful,
that,
hey?
It's so beautiful. Like
Khalil Gibran, sure, but I haven't heard that name in a while. Oh, I need to go read The Prophet again.
Yeah. I mean,
you just reminded me. I need to go read The Prophet again.
Good. Go read it today. I love that. I love that line because, you know, we think so much about, you know, why we're not worthy, why we're not enough. Oh, this person didn't love me. Or this person left me. Or this job fired me. Or I didn't get this acting part or whatever. But we never think about affirming for ourselves how enough we are already.
No, that doesn't complete you. You're complete already.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing in the movie. You complete me.
I hate that line so much.
I'm gonna say that's bull crap. Nice line. There was a lot of tears. I get it. Bull crap though. You are complete without anybody. Anybody that comes into your life is just the sprinkles. The thing is, you're complete. You're complete as you. All right. Anybody, if you're looking for somebody to complete you, okay, you're never gonna find it because there will never be enough. You are complete. What another person does to your life and adds to your life and brings, that's the sprinkles. Like you're a cake. You're a complete, finished, beautiful, edible cake. All right. What happens with the person that comes into your life, that's the sprinkles and the cherry, and that's what that is. But you're already complete. Come here with it. You complete me. No.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It was when
I'm sorry, Jerry Maguire. I'm sorry, Renee Zolliger.
Oh.
Sorry, Tom.
When I started, when I watched that movie, I sat there like this and I couldn't really like figure out why it was bothering me. And then years later, as I started
that's
doing
why.
Work,
that's why, because like, no one completes anybody.
So messed up. This is so messed up. I don't want a boyfriend that's like, together we are whole. Oh, my other half this. Oh, my better half that. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Those sayings need to be redone, I think.
Seriously.
You know, if all the people are allowed to change their pronouns, we're allowed to change those sayings.
Yes. I think
that's a better thing because we're not changing the English language actually. We're just changing the things that we say.
I think we need like a shamanic healing or something where we can write all those sayings down and throw them in the fire and send them off because
and rewrite them. Throw them in the fire. We rewrite them before we throw them in the fire. So it's like, these are what words are going to be used from now on. It's like, you complete my cake. You give my cake all the completion it needs. But I'm complete before you got here. Okay.
Oh.
Listen, Chantal, do you need me much longer? I don't mean to be rude, but my battery's going to die.
Yeah, no.
And that's what I'm worried about, that I cut off.
We have 4 minutes left, really.
Okay.
So I want people to know how they can get in touch with you.
Did anybody jump on? Did anybody say hello?
I saw some people were watching the live stream, but they haven't commented yet, but they will.
Comment, people, comment.
So how can people get in touch with you, Lou, if they want to book virtual training or coaching or whatever?
Okay, well, like the virtual training is pretty easy. You just need to speak to me on either my Instagram, which is Superman76_LRC, or Llewellyn R. Cordier on Facebook.
Okay, perfect.
That easy.
I will actually, I'll add you to the group as well.
Yeah, add me to the group.
Friend you or whatever, or send you a message, and I will put a link to your Instagram or Facebook on the YouTube when I upload this later.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And thanks for this. It was really good to chat to you.
Yeah.
That story does bring up a lot of emotions there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I don't really talk about it all that much
Yeah.
because when I'm talking about it, I feel the things that I was feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know. I mean, like I said, I've known you since I was a toddler. And
I ran
didn't
away
know
from the
that-
world. I didn't tell anybody. I was
Yeah.
embarrassed to be sick.
It wasn't until like one of my friends said, "Who's this hot friend of yours that you just tagged in a post and did a deep dive on your Facebook or your Instagram?" And he was like, "Look at this video." And I watched that video, and we were already training together at that time. And I was like, how do I not know? How do I not know about this?
No, I really didn't tell anybody. I mean, the people who were really, really close to me knew. But
Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody. I mean, people are so cool. I mean, I was going through it. So I was at the gym. Obviously, I'd lost a lot of weight. And I remember putting on a vest one day to go and train. It's like, yo, bro, lost weight. I said, yeah, well, I'm kind of going through chemo. So I think my main aim is to stay alive. But thanks for asking.
Yo.
Just looked at me like, don't just make comments, people. Like, just like say, hey, how you doing? And if the person wants to tell you, they will. Don't make assumptions.
Yeah.
Don't make assumptions. All right. But no, it's not because I stopped having protein shake. It's because I actually couldn't eat. All right. I don't think anybody in the States will understand what that accent was about, but I think you've been in South Africa enough to understand that's the gym boot.
Yeah, and we have a lot of South Africans in the group, and on my Facebook.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, no, of course. It's important.
Okay.
It's
Chantel,
important to remember where you came from.
thank you so much. Thank you
later.
very much. Thank you to everybody that watched and everybody that didn't watch, and we will speak soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.